The college football playoffs are coming, and we got you covered in each game, rankings, and bowl game. We're breaking it down on each snap, each week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Joe Aguirre, Jace Garcia, and myself, Obi Muniz, giving you the highlights, predictions, and current rankings. Visit our website at clovercrestmedia.com and hhwshow.com. It's all four downs, presented by the CMG Sports Podcast Network.
Do you have a 401k and some savings for future retirement, but you don't even know if it's enough to live off of? How much is enough? And how often do you think about it? The team at JPEX Financial Group can help set your mind at ease. We specialize in creating strategies, doing the planning and managing of your financial, educational, and investment needs. We help clients pursue their investment goals with sound financial strategies. You deserve a personal, tailored plan. Lasting, meaningful, and open relationships are the foundation of our practice. You've worked hard for your money and should feel confident with your investment choices as you make decisions for your financial future. Your goals are our goals. We are dedicated to your needs and hopes for your future. Visit our website or give us a call at 860-430-5397.
Throwing jabs, always full send. Here we go again. Jared, Joe, and Jay's Clovercrest, top three corner man, punching in with a puncher's chance. We find a way to win. The main event, locked it in every Saturday at 10. The overhand is out of hand when it comes to fisticuffs. Slide a hand on the undercard, you'll never see the punch. Uppercut got you missing weight, feet are stepping late. Keep your guard up, feeling faint from a feint. Take a stand and eight, then retaliate. Put up your duke, stick and move, bob and weave. Don't lose hope against the ropes, there's always an escape. Never stay down. One more round, bells ringing, counter punch with your chin tucked and go down swinging. We bringing crosses with no worship, hooks with no verses, combinations with no locks. When you feel the flurry, it's curtains. From scrub scraps to fight stats, relax if you want the facts, cause the best combat podcast is throwing jabs.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Throwing Jabs Combat Sports Podcast. I'm Big Jace, joined by Jared Jones, and filling in for Joe Aguirre is Prideful Take Zone, Riley Pride Barrett Valdez. What's going on, guys? We got a lot to talk about. A lot of lightweight fights in boxing. And let's dig in right off the rip, recap the upset that George Kambosos Jr. pulled off as he beat Teofimo Lopez during split decision. We talked a little bit about it on our NFL pregame show last week, Jared. But what did you think of the fight?
Oh, amazing fight. And honestly, this one surprises me that I didn't catch up to this one, that I was so sure about Lopez. When Lopez first took the title, I said he was bigger than Loma, and that's part of what happened here is Loma coming up. He's not as great as we think he is. He's not better than Loma. He's just a little bit bigger and a great fighter. Got a little caught up in the hype. I can't say I would have gone back and do it different, but if you watch Kambosos' fights, he plays to the level of his opponent. He's one of those guys, and he just rose to the level of his opposition and came to fight and won the fight. And I'm a little upset at the wilder stuff that Teofimo's doing now. Like, you lost the fight. You lost. You got beat up, man, and you lost. And you want to come back, you want to try to rematch, you got other plans, go do that. But being in the news arguing that you won this fight, you sound as ridiculous as that judge, that one judge that had it for you. You lost the fight 8-4.
100%. I'm with you there. I mean, I was watching it, and there's no way, no how that you can look at me with a straight face and say Lopez won that fight. You cannot look me in my eye and tell me that, because you got some explaining to do. Like, look, Granted, I'm not a big fan of Lopez. I don't believe he beat Lomachenko that night. I think it was a tie. I'll be honest. I don't think Loma won. But
I had a draw too.
Yes, yeah, I had a draw because Loma started slow, but when he started picking up right in the middle of the fight, Teofimo had no answer. And he looked lost, he looked dazed, he looked confused, he didn't know what to do. So I had it as a draw. So now you go up, Cabosa, obviously, he thought this was going to be easy. Did you hear his dad afterwards? Oh, yeah, we didn't really lose the fight. However, the only mistake I made was leaving my son at this weight division for so long. I'm like, time out. Wait a minute. Right before this fight, you guys were screaming you were going to run this division. Now, all of a sudden, you lose, and it's a mistake that you didn't move him up. It's very weird, and you hit it on the head, Jared. It's very Wilder-like. The worst thing that happened to him is that one delusional judge who probably was chilling with John Jones and did some stuff before they went to judge, gave Teofimo any type of leeway. When they came out split decision, in his head, Lopez was like, oh, yeah, 100%, I won. There's no debate about it, whatever. He ended up losing, and because one judge voted for him, that's kind of going to give him the out, so to speak, to him to be like, oh, yeah, one judge had it for me. See, I won. And it's like, bro, you literally, excuse my French. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to curse. I'm going to be a good noodle. You got beat the F up, bro. And you got beat up bad.
Then you got beat down.
Yes. You were destroyed to the point where, like, I understand that it went to, like, the whole distance. So he'll probably try to take that as, like, oh, I went the distance. But there were times in that fight that the towel should have been thrown in. If we're allowed to have that conversation,
I'm not mad if you stop that.
Me personally, I'm not at all. Like, there have been times it could have been stopped. The fact that it wasn't, I mean, again, look, congratulations, you lasted. But let's call it what it is. You were supposed to beat this dude.
Bad.
Let's call it what it is. You were supposed to beat him bad because supposedly what he wanted was that Loma rematch. He wanted that Loma rematch because he feels disrespected, because he feels like no one's giving him the proper credit, because in his mind, he doesn't think the people think he deserves it. So he was supposed to beat this dude to fight Loma. And now all of a sudden, this weight division, it's too much, too taxing on his body.
The weight division. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, was it taxing on your body or taxing on your skill? Like,
stop that. When you're talking about the judges, you remind me of my 2-year-old son. We have some little iPad games that he plays. Push the letter B, and it's got like A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
So it's like that must have been what one of the judges was doing over there with that little iPad. Red.
They had a
blue. Round 4, blue.
Jerry,
I did it. Yay.
They had a leapfrog, and they were looking at it. Said, "What's the color blue?" Yellow. Like, that's what that judge was on, bro. Like,
he had two rounds for the yellow corner.
Yeah, somehow, and I can just imagine, like, the other scorers just looking at him like, yo, what is this on, yo? Like, he's out here, he's like, oh, wait, hold on. Oh, that was a good hit. The purple corner deserves a point. And it's like, where are you at, my guy? Like, what is going on, bro? Like, but I will say this, when it comes to
how did you have it 14-6?
See, look, he's like trying to copy their homework. Yo, how did you get that? And then they start.
You didn't see that last field goal?
Yo, it's like when you're in school, right? When you're in school and like there's like this math equation, right? And everyone is saying, "Oh, it's 2. No, it's 11," and your goofy self is there with like minus Q, and you're just like. Oh, yeah, I swear that's how he was, Jace. I swear that judge was completely lost.
I will say, like, we should have been a little bit sharper on this upset, because I mean, Lopez, like you mentioned, he came out strong against Lomachenko, and I mean that's what the challenger is going to do, especially when you're going out, you're trying to take your chance, and then eventually Lomachenko figured him out and pieced him up at the end. And that's why a lot of people had a draw. A lot of people had Loma winning as well. So, I mean, Lopez was never the face. He was never going to be. He had that big – he was a little bit bigger for the division. That maybe could have got him by. But, yeah, I mean, if you can't get back past Kambosos, well, yeah, I don't think you're going to get past a Haney. You're not going to get past a Loma again.
Haney's
Heck,
better.
you might not even get past a Ryan Garcia or Gervonta Davis.
Those are good fights because they're your size. Loma was smaller, and that's kind of what did it. Yeah, prior to Loma, who'd he beat? Kami and Nakatani. And that was all you had on Lopez's records. When we scouted the Lopez-Loma fight, we did the same thing we did with this fight. Caught up in not caught. The Loma stuff isn't hype. But Lopez was bigger, and then he wins, and you think, oh, well, styles make fights. As soon as he fought somebody his size that's good in that division, he took it out. And yeah, I think that most of that list you just named beats him. He'd probably take Ryan Garcia, but most of the people you just named, I think would be Lopez. That was just not a great performance.
No, it was not.
And get your parents out of your corner. If Sean Porter and Teofimo Lopez haven't created the example for the rest of the boxing world, it's a conflict of interest. I'm never going to corner my fighters. I'll corner them as kids. 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. Trin's 15. She decides she wants to box. I'm going to get her a good trainer. I'm going to get her a John Scully, and I'm going to get her somebody that's going to do the work with her and get her where she's supposed to go. Because you don't know when to stop the fight. Yes. You don't know when to tell them to swing more. There's a piece of you in there.
And to your point, that's something that, a lot of, when it comes to like the father-son dynamic, or even if it's like an uncle teaching his nephew, that's your family. So you're more likely to like give them the wrong advice because your judgment, whether or not you want to agree, it's clouded. Because look, if my son was fighting, I'm going to tell him, hey, yo, look, you're going out there, you're going to beat the bricks off him. Do you hear me? You get hit one time, you're grounded, right? I see my son get hit one time, and I'm immediately thinking about, hey, yo, give me that towel. Give me that towel. It's he got hit with a weak jab that really wasn't even supposed to do damage. It was just a rangefinder, and I'm like, hey, yo, give me that towel. Give me that.
Tag me in.
Yeah, like what I mean? like that's one thing that I will give credit to Floyd and his dad. If Floyd ever got punched, his dad didn't care. He was just like, get hit again. He's like, get hit again. Watch what's gonna happen. Like,
I heard an argument. I'm not sure I was a huge fan of it, but just it's relative to the conversation. I heard an argument once that Diego Corrales' demise happened when they decided his father should keep being his head trainer. Because then there was the Mayweather fight. He got knocked out a bunch of times. The whole plan was, I'll come on strong late and knock this guy out. So Corrales is thinking, I wasn't supposed to get knocked out 5 times, but this is part of the plan. And dad's thinking, I don't want to see any more of this. And there's the disparity between son and father. And then there's all of the other hardships that came as a result of that. And the same way Luis Resto was the end of Billy Connor when he put all that plaster in his gloves, that fight started this breakdown that ended a life.
Yep.
I heard somebody make that same argument about Diego Corrales. Get your parents out of your corner. They don't make sense there, guys.
And if your parents really want to be in your corner that bad, I've always said this, the best place a parent should be is as a cutman.
Cutman, yeah.
That's the best place they should be, because if you're a cutman, think about it, as a parent, your job is to protect your child and to, heal their wounds. And what is the job of a cutman? To heal the fighter's
heal the wounds.
So I've always felt like that is like the best place you could be.
The top.
Exactly. And on top of that, the cutmen at times, they kind of, go in there, and when the fighter's kind of like panicking a little bit, if you guys notice, when whoever the trainer is, when they can't get in their head, it's the cutman who's there, and you can occasionally see them whisper, relax, breathe. And that's also more on a kind of like, like another level where it's like you're not coaching them, you're just there to keep them level and you're there to keep them calm. And it's like, bro, if you want to be in the corner so bad, be a cutman. A lot of these guys who are trainers know how to be cutmen. They already know how to do it. So it's not like they're just gonna be lost, like, what do I do? They know what to do. So that's always been my thing. If it's for any family, if you want to be in their corner, fine. Just go be the cutman and have another guy be the trainer, because at the end of the day, in terms of their career and you're being comfortable watching your family member fight, I think it's beneficial for both sides.
Yeah, but all right, let's move on. Like we talked about, like I talked about before. I mean, there's a lot of great fights that can happen at lightweight, and we got a lot of more lightweight boxing to talk about. Not just this, but it's Christmas time, right? It's Christmas time. It's December. All you guys all got kids. I'm sure they made their list for Santa Claus. Yeah, I want this. I want that. See what's gonna come under the tree. But say we're writing lists for Santa. What fight do we want for Christmas? I'm gonna start with you, Pride, with this one. Who you got?
I got two.
Huh?
So I got one boxing, and I have one actually UFC. First one, Davis and Garcia. Stop being, you know what? Just fight. Stop running your mouths and fight. Like, that's really it. That's really it. Like, because the thing is, I've never seen two dudes, and Jared, you've been around the sport way longer, and Jason, if I'm missing someone, let me know. I've never, in my to my memory right now, I've never seen two guys constantly say we want to fight and never sign a contract ever in my entire life. Never have contract, nothing. It is like two guys. It's like, hey, yo, Jace, I'm gonna beat you up, yo. I hate you. And Jace goes, yo, Pride, you a piece of garbage. I hate you. Fall down some stairs. I go, Jace, stub your toe. We talk. It's getting hot, Jared. It's getting hot. Jared's the promoter. He goes, all right, bet. Let's get you out of fight. I go, you know what? My knee, feel me? I got
what weight class? I don't know if I can make 182.
I don't know. You know what I mean? I got leprosy.
I'm going to take some time out for mental health.
Yeah, I mean, don't even get me started because a lot of people throw that out just as like a vacation. That gets me sick to my stomach. But again, that's neither here nor there.
I'm a psych major too. I feel like a lot of times I can tell the difference between the person that's having some mental health issues, Simone Biles.
Yes.
You know, where there's really something going on versus Ryan Garcia where there's probably not.
There's nothing at all. And you just, instead of wanting to have the perception of you pulling out of a fight, you just go, oh yeah, mental health. Like that drives me nuts. But y'all both running your mouth.
His balls got the twisties.
Yeah. Yo, Jared, the fight is going to happen in 2 months, right? It's going to happen in 2 months. However, 3 months ago, Garcia woke up at 2:57 in the morning. He went to brush his teeth. His water tasted a slightly bit different, which then led to lead poisoning. And while he was trying to go to the hospital, he stubbed his toe on the doorway, which is going to have him dead by the time the fight comes. And he's going to magically resurrect the night after. This is the type of excuses this kid's coming up with. It's so elaborate that I just got to give him a hand clap. I got to be like, hey, yo, good job on that stuff. And then Davis, it's not even him making excuses. The dude is literally shooting himself in the foot. Jace, imagine this. Hey, yo, Jace, me and you, we're going to fight. Let me go crash a car. What are you doing, John Jones? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. This is a different guy. Like,
next time I call out of work, I'm just going to Google canceled Ryan Garcia fights. And I'll have a whole list of excuses, some elaborate stuff to use to get
top tier stuff, I'm telling you. So it's them two. And then in terms of the UFC, this is one fight I hope I see, and I hope I'm blessed. I don't think we'll actually see it. John Jones versus Cyril Gane. I want to see, because John Jones wants to go to heavyweight, I want to see, can you handle heavyweight? Can you handle it? Because supposedly, when he does his entire training camp, that's all he rolls with. When he does his training camps, he rolls with heavyweight. However, Cyril Gane, that dude is born different, built different, lives different, is different. I've never seen a dude that size that can take you on the floor and move like a featherweight, got movement like a middleweight. It's wild. Like, imagine Stephen Wonderboy Thompson now somehow blow him up, and Cyril Gane has that same awkward little sideways style, which again, for a big man, he can do it the entire fight, which is wild.
I said 2 years ago, that's the next great UFC heavyweight champion, Cyril Gane.
If you said it 2 years ago, Jared, 100%, let me know who's going to be the next great guy now so I can put some money on him. Because goddamn, if you called it, oh my goodness.
I called Justin Gaethje 4 fights before he got to the UFC.
Yo, Jared, we gonna have to exchange some info because there's some money on this account right now, yo. This is wild.
I feel pretty good,
man. Like Cyril Gane, I like him, and I genuinely believe if there's one guy in the heavyweight, because I'll be honest, in light heavyweight, I genuinely believe John Jones will beat everyone, because I just think a lot of those fighters are just, they don't have enough dimensions to handle a guy like.
I can't have that. I don't know who John Jones is as a fighter. Even as a human being, I have no idea who this guy is. It's all so vague.
I mean, you know what? You actually do have a good point, because for all we know, he can come back and be a shell of himself, because not only because of the layoff, for all we know, he can't handle heavyweight. For all we know. I mean, but I'll be honest, if you want him to succeed, if you want John Jones to really be that guy, he's gonna have to fight one of the top dudes. I'm pretty sure Uncle Dana's gonna hold his hand and say, "Come on, John." And he's like, "Oh, by the way, I tested positive. We'll sweep it under the rug, Brock Lesnar. Sorry, that's the other guy that we've been protecting."
You guys stop bringing him to Vegas.
Honestly, at some point, let me say one thing. Let me go on a quick rant before Jace, I give it to you. At some point, you guys have 1,378 million freaking venues. Why do y'all keep bringing John Jones to Vegas when you know the dude can't handle? What are we doing here? Every single time John Jones goes to Vegas, swear to God, the local jail literally already has John Jones cell prep.
It's not Vegas. It's not Vegas we should leave John Jones out of. It's the UFC and these conversations that we should leave John Jones out of, if you ask me. I have no idea who that guy is. I don't know what you're talking about.
John who? The only Jones I know is Jared Jones. That's the only Jones I know.
The real Jay Jones.
if I'm allowed to, for me, those would be.
I'd fight him. I'll fight him right now today. I don't know what I'm getting.
I mean, no, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'll fight John Jones right now, 100%. You give me, Dana, you give me $5 million, I'll take a punch. I might die, but if I live, that's $5 million. I may be dead, but again, if I live, $5 million, I think I'll be all right with some brain damage. I'm already stupid, so there's not like he's knocking much out anyway.
Ask for $5. The promotions around it and ads around it, and you're gonna pull that $5 million in. Ask for $5.
Bing bong, straight up. They gonna have me talking like that, dude. Who the president? Byron. That's how John Jones gonna have it. I'll still be good. By the way, honorable mention. I have a gauntlet that I want Aljamain Sterling to run. People clearly know I'm not a fan of Aljamain Sterling. Him and I, we have a very complicated relationship. And what I mean by complicated, he wants me to love him, and I hate him with every fiber of my being. Basically, he's like one of my exes, right? They want me back, and I'm like, hey, yo, I hope you stub your toe every morning when you go to get breakfast. I hope you run out of toothpaste. I hope you poop and there's no toilet paper.
I hope all of Ryan Garcia's excuses really happened to you.
100%. So this is what I hope. And again, I got this written down. So I want Aljamain Sterling to use the Petr Yan. After that, I want Dana White to say, hey, Sterling, you want another chance at the belt? You're going to say yes. I go, okay. You fight TJ Dillashaw. I want TJ Dillashaw juiced up to the freaking gills again. We EPOing this dude to the point that if he bleeds, no blood comes out. Straight drugs. That's what we're doing with TJ. We're juicing this dude up.
Powder.
Yo, you're going to see the difference. He's going to look like this. He's going to be foaming at the mouth, and we're going to have him beat the mess out of him. We're going to throw him in there with Corey Sandhagen. I'm going to be like, hey, yo, Corey, if you lose, you're getting released. Not even a bigger fire under him. Have him get mollywop. After that, Rob Font, guess what? More drugs, more knockout, get him out of here. Guess what? Bing bong, F your career, get him out of here after that. 4-fight loser streak, and ain't no one gonna want him by the time I'm done with him. So that's my honorable mention, the Aljamain Sterling gauntlet that will get him out, because I'm sick and tired of him taking pictures with the belt in his fridge. Go ahead, Jerry.
I got a couple here too, and I'm sure Jace could give you all of them. Jace will tell you all three. My Christmas list consists of Virgil Ortiz Jr. beating Bud Crawford, Savannah Marshall beating Clarissa Shields, and Arthur. Huh?
You are not a Clarissa Shields fan. Every time I come on, you're like, I can't wait till she loses.
Savannah Marshall will bust her ass. Savannah Marshall would beat up Clarissa Shields. It's why she went to MMA. She ran to MMA to get away from Savannah Marshall. This The same way, fight 3, the same way Canelo Alvarez ran from light heavyweight to get away from Artur Beterbiev, who will kick his ass. Savannah Marshall beats Shields. Beterbiev beats Canelo. That's my end. Ortiz beats Crawford. That's my Christmas list. It is not Errol Spence. Errol Spence puffed up to 154 pounds on his way out of the auditorium last week. It's not Errol Spence. Virgil Ortiz Jr. is the guy that's going to beat Bud Crawford.
Jared, I cannot stand you. You said he buffed up to 154.
He put on 7 pounds on his way out of the stadium. Put on 7 pounds. I'm not fighting that dude. Nope. He sat down at 147, walked out at 154. I watched it. He looked bigger when he was leaving.
Oh, yeah, that's funny.
I will say Clarissa Shields has decided to come back to boxing, right? She vacated all her junior middleweight. She's looking for.
Tell her I said Savannah Unana.
Oh, you're so corny.
Yeah. But all right, for me, I mean, Jared, you got to know the top one on my list. I've talked about it for a while now. The greatest takedown artist in MMA. Khabib comes out of retirement to take down the greatest defense, the man with the greatest takedown defense ever in Kamaru Usman. I know that's a fever dream. I know it's probably not going to happen, but that has to be the top. That has to be the tippy top of my list. Then for boxing, I know it isn't what it used to be. It could have been a lot bigger and a lot greater. But in Wembley Arena, Tyson Fury against Anthony Joshua. I mean, it doesn't matter. As long as that's in England, that's going to be a fantastic fight. And everyone's going to get into it. You're going to be hearing the whole crowd singing Sweet Caroline and all that stuff. It's going to be a great, great fight. And then I got one more. This is... I'm not even going to call it a fight. It might not even get into a ring or octagon. Oh, it might get into a ring. But, I mean, talk about entertainment. Talk about a fight that would sell.
Great, Jared. He's going to pitch Jake Paul versus Jace. Jesus Christ, no.
I would love to fight Jake Paul. No, but, I mean, you brought it up earlier, Pride. John Jones versus Brock Lesnar. Juice him the fuck up. Let him just fight.
So you're talking, okay.
Then
so I just want to get clear.
Over to the WWE, and then you can make even more money about it.
So when you're saying that fight, that has no ramifications on rankings or nothing.
No.
We're just going to get two guys who already do drugs, give them permission to do drugs, and then just let the Rockheads just go in the octagon and just bang heads. I'm telling you, I would supply them. I'll supply them with steroids. Brock, what do you want, my guy? He don't need me because he already has a guy, as you see. I love bringing this up all the time. The UFC let him be literally half drugs, half man against poor Mark Hunt. I feel so bad. No, but I'll be honest with you, Jace. The Khabib versus Kamaru Usman, will it happen? Probably not. But that does tickle me in a good way. It tickles me in a good way because on paper it sounds good.
Like see it, yeah.
It would tickle. And then Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury in London. It's not the same because Anthony Joshua has this weird fascination with losing when your next fight is literally phenomenal. He's got this weird knack of doing that. But like you said, I think in Wembley, I don't think that matters. I think Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury can both go on 6-fight losing.
Can't happen though. Who's Usyk fighting? I mean,
fuck him.
Most of these won't happen. Most of these won't.
Oh no, they won't.
But that one, you can't just cut Usyk out and.
Oh no, you can.
Let these two fight each other.
No, you can.
No, if anything, it's more doable now because you don't have to protect the champion, right? If you're
and who's Usyk fighting?
You want to know the truth?
Dillian White.
I mean, I would.
Artur Beterbiev. Hey, honestly, those two guys at light heavyweight is one of the best fights you can make in boxing right now. Artur Beterbiev and Alexander Usyk. They fought 3 times in the amateurs.
Yep.
Usyk won 2 out of 3 of them. Beterbiev beat him. One of the only guys that beat him in the amateurs. It's a great fight.
Right, and that's really much to go to Jason's point. They're like Usyk isn't screwed if Fury and Joshua decide to fight. He's not really screwed out of an opponent because there's still some guys in that division that he could fight. You know what I mean? Because again, let's be honest. I mean, Anthony Joshua, he might want a rematch. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't if I'm him. Usyk will beat him again.
I mean, I was about to say, the way I saw it, I don't think that was like a fluke what happened with Andy Ruiz. I think Usyk is just a better fighter. That's just
Usyk. You have to be about 250 and maul that guy like a bear. You have to Tyson Fury Usyk, or you're not going to be able to beat him. Joshua's style is completely wrong for Usyk.
Yep, because
he lets you outbox him if you can. Most people can't. But if you can, he lets you, and Usyk can.
Exactly. And it kind of goes to your point, Jared. When Anthony Joshua, if you outbox him, he doesn't know what to do then.
There's no plan B.
His style reminds me a lot of Deontay Wilder. And I don't mean in the terms of the fighting style, it's just more along the lines of plan A is my best chance. After that, there is no plan B.
There is no chance, yeah.
I don't have any backup. So what I'm doing round 1 needs to work for me round 9, in those championship rounds. It needs to work for me at that time as well. Because
versus the great ones.
Right,
versus the great ones.
Like Tyson Fury, who can put you down. Like, look, Tyson Fury,
Bud Crawford,
yes,
making adjustments during the fights.
Canelo Alvarez, even though
slow. These guys aren't slow starters. They're making adjustments during the fight for the person that they're fighting.
Exactly. So they'll give you the first few rounds. Like for instance, Tyson Fury, when he fought Wilder, I knew he was gonna get knocked out. We knew when you have the blessing that Wilder has with that, you're gonna knock him down. The problem for Wilder was when he gets up, what's your backup plan? He didn't have one, and he kept trying to throw it. And especially after like the second time in the last fight, he put him down the second time. And Wilder's literally just like, oh, that was it? Oh, that was it? Oh, bro, look, I'll be honest. You caught me, but I'm not rocked. Are you done? Like that kind of was really what it was. And that's kind of what put, Wilder in this awkward position where he didn't know what to do. There was no plan B. And that's the same thing with Anthony Joshua. He does his whole, if you outbox him, he doesn't go, maybe I should try counterpunching a little bit, let him come to me. Maybe I should try moving. He doesn't do
Go
anything.
Forward. If Anthony Joshua made a dedicated decision to move forward and hang on Usyk, it was a winnable fight for him. He doesn't know how to fight like that.
Not only would have been winnable, I'm going to tell you this. If he goes forward, I say the 7th round. If he goes forward then, we're having a completely different conversation.
Totally different.
Because the
fight.
problem that Anthony Joshua had was he was starting to become tentative, and Usyk was just like, for real? This is your king? You're in for a long night, kid.
Yeah, long night.
and that's really what it ended up being. And, but I mean, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury in Wimbledon, I think it'll be good, especially considering Usyk could either A, take a little break, they've done that before, or B, there's plenty of other guys he himself can fight. Because I'm pretty sure he's gonna want Tyson. He's gonna want Fury. I don't know if Fury would want him, but I know Usyk is gonna want Fury.
Yeah, that's the fight to make.
Right now, that would be the fight to make. So.
Sure.
Yeah, but I mean, let's not act like everyone's jumping on that fight because Eddie Hearn doesn't want that to happen. He wants to protect his belts, and I mean, Fury as of right now, I mean, he might be retired at this point. I mean, I know he's spoken about it since the Wilder fight, about like his drive and that stuff. So
I know he did say he wanted to fight somebody. It might have been Joshua. I know he said he wanted to fight somebody else. Oh, yeah, no, I'm going to tell you, Usyk becomes a new Tyson Fury. Where like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like how we look at Tyson Fury, it's like, oh my God, he's so great. And then there's everyone else. I think Usyk becomes that guy.
This is another guy, Jace, that I always talked about from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Usyk. But never thought he would move up to heavyweight and didn't think he'd be big enough to compete if he did. I knew he'd outbox everybody there, but so yeah, this is another guy I had my eye on because of his amateur pedigree.
Yeah.
But Turbiev hasn't really got his name out the way some of these others that I've predicted have. But you wait. I had 5 on that list, and a couple of them are on their way.
Real quick, Jace, before we move on. Jared, you talking about how you had your eye on him. Can I borrow your eye? Because you see things that are phenomenal. Well, I'm gonna need to start like taking your eye. I'm pretty sure I could take his eyes and I'm all of a sudden seeing through people's cars in the casino. I'm racking it all in, baby. Let me borrow your eye just for one weekend, my guy.
Oh, I count cards. I'd blow your mind with a deck of cards.
Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised?
Oh, all right. Yeah, let's take a break, and then we'll come back, get into the fights tonight and or this weekend, we should say. Let's take a break.
So, Jess, why did you become a realtor?
I worked in various customer service jobs, so I wanted something a little bit more rewarding. Becoming a real estate agent, being able to help people find their forever homes or their investment homes, starter homes. It's very exciting, so a lot of fun.
Now, you've gotten off to a really good start in your real estate career. What has been the most rewarding part of this for you so far?
Helping people, especially like first-time home buyers, finding their first home. They're so excited. I'm so excited to help them. So it's a nice, rewarding part.
What is it that you think makes you different than other real estate agents?
I think that my various roles in customer service has helped me. So I like to ask a lot of questions and I want to know what I'm doing. So I think that helps a lot because I'm not going to steer people the wrong way. I'm going to make sure they have knowledgeable decisions and help them find the right home.
Last thing I'm going to ask you is, and I know these are words that you live by, but the mantra at CTBB Realty is?
People over paychecks, do the damn thing.
And that's what we do.
Devin Haney will defend his WBC lightweight title against Joseph Jojo Diaz Jr., the WBC interim lightweight champion, at the MGM Grand Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada on Saturday night. Let's break it down. Joseph Jojo Diaz, 29 years old. He's 5'6" with a 64-inch reach and a record of 31-1-1 with 15 knockouts. From South El Monte, California, Diaz took up boxing to learn self-defense and began his amateur career at 14 years old, going on to become a 2-time national champion, defeating Oscar Valdez and making it to the 2012 Summer Olympics, where he was defeated by Cuba's Lazario Alvarez. He turned pro in December of the same year, scoring a unanimous decision over Vicente Martinez. Over the next 3 years, he amassed a record of 19-0 with 11 knockouts before blowing out Hugo Partida in 2 rounds for the NABF featherweight title. He defended that belt 7 times, scoring decisions over Jason Velez and Manuel Avila, and knockouts over Andrew Cancio and Victor Torres before challenging Gary Russell Jr. for the WBC featherweight title, losing by a wide unanimous decision. He bounced back 3 months later with a decision over Jesus Rojas, and after defeating Charles Huerta, he scored a 7th-round knockout of Freddy Fonseca to claim the vacant WBA Gold super featherweight title. On January 30th, 2020, he pulled off a major upset when he defeated champion Tevin Farmer by unanimous decision for the IBF super featherweight title. His success was short-lived, however, when he attempted to make his first title defense against the unheralded Shavkat Rakhimov. He showed up nearly 40 pounds overweight, getting stripped of his belt and fined $100,000 before fighting to a majority draw. Following that debacle, he moved up to lightweight, where he put on a dominant performance against Javier Fortuna, winning by unanimous decision to gain the vacant interim WBC championship. A southpaw pressure fighter, Diaz has an iron jaw and a solid jab that he uses to set up a vicious body attack. Devin Haney's 23 years old. He's 5'8" with his 71-inch reach and a record of 26-0 with 15 knockouts. From Oakland, California, Haney started boxing at the age of 8 and by 17 had won 7 national titles, becoming the youngest boxer to win the Youth World Championships. He amassed an amateur record of 138-8, including 3 losses and 3 wins over Ryan Garcia before turning pro in 2015 with a first-round TKO. He quickly went 19-0 with 14 knockouts before picking up his first belt, the IBF North American lightweight title, with a 10-round unanimous decision over Juan Carlos Burgos. The following year, he added the vacant international belt with a decision over Zolazani Indongjeni and defended it once, knocking out Antonio Moran with a powerful overhand right. In his next fight, he took on Zaire Abdulev for the vacant WBC interim title as the WBC promoted Vasily Lomachenko to franchise champion. After 4 rounds, Abdulev's corner stopped the fight to spare him more punishment, and in November of 2019, defended that belt with a unanimous decision over Alfredo Santiago. He injured his shoulder in that fight, requiring surgery, and didn't return to the ring for a year until he took on former champion Yuriokis Gamboa, winning by lopsided unanimous decision. On May 29, 2021, he took on former 3-time champion Jorge Linares, dominating most of the fight and surviving a vicious combination in the 10th to secure the decision in his toughest fight to date. A slick boxer with good head movement and fast hands, Haney fights in a style similar to Floyd Mayweather's, holding his left hand low and using a snapping jab to set up his combinations while avoiding staying in the pocket for too long. Will the strength and pressure of Diaz be enough to wear down Haney, or will the Dream dominate with his speed and defense as he has a showdown with new champion George Kambosos for undisputed gold? Tune in Saturday night for Haney versus Diaz.
Should be interesting. I will say I think Haney gets it done. But I will also say that Kambosos versus Haney, I actually like Kambosos a lot. Because last Haney fight, I mean, when Linares was getting it on and putting it on him at the end, it was really the hook that set it all up for him. Haney's really great when it's at dodging stuff, when it's coming straight down the middle, but when it's like coming off to the side, he struggles, and that's where Linares took advantage of in the last fight. Kambosos, he was hitting Teofimo Lopez with that left hook all fight, and he was dominating with that whenever Teofimo came in. So I think Kambosos versus Haney, I actually like Kambosos in that fight, but I do expect Haney to get it done, continue to do what he's been doing throughout his time at lightweight here with Jojo Diaz. How do you see this fight going, Jared?
I like Haney too. I think it's a closer fight than the numbers suggest, but I think you have to take Haney. These guys are so creative about not getting their young champions in trouble. If you look at Diaz's career, he's spent a lot at 25 and then 29, 130, fought out for a while and then came up, missed 130, weighed in at 133, and then moved up to 135 one fight ago. Devin Haney's been at 135 the whole time and does a good job cutting weight, hasn't missed. He puffs up a little bit, so he should be the bigger guy, which is what Jojo Diaz has done his whole career, is rehydrated, push the weight class, and be the bigger guy. So I think he's going to be the smaller guy, and I think Haney's going to be the better boxer. So, yeah, I say Haney. I say Haney probably by decision. I don't think he can stop Diaz, but it's closer than people think. Haney ends up in trouble. I'm not going to be shocked.
Yeah, I'm there with you. I think it will be a UD. However, a lot of people are saying Diaz doesn't have a chance, and I'm like, all right, cool. Then put as much money as you want on him. It is what it is, you know. I do think Diaz has it. I think he has a legit chance. I'm not saying that he has maybe. I think he has a legit chance to win. I do like Diaz. However, I think right now it's Haney's time. I have him. I expect him to, work on the outside. He's got a lot of tools in his tool belt. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be very interesting to see what he chooses to do. But Jace, to your point, because you said you expect, you got Kambosos. You think he has a legit chance against Haney. I think this fight with Diaz is closer than Hanley would have with Kambosos. That's just me. I think this fight is way closer. I think if Hanley not if, because I believe he will. When he beats Diaz, I think at this point it's just a super highway to unify. Hey, I genuinely believe that. I think it's just a super highway.
Maybe.
To who?
For Hanley.
To unify.
Because I'll be honest, I think this Diaz fight is going to be tougher for Hanley than the Kambosos fight.
Okay.
That's fair.
So that's why I'm saying if he gets to Diaz, I think that's a super highway. That's just how I feel about it.
Clear path, yeah.
Yeah, it'll just be an easy path. Hanley just cannot screw himself over, and I don't think he will. So, I got Hanley here, and I got him.
I totally agree, Sander.
Right.
Totally agree with that comment.
He does, but that brings up the question. We're talking a lot about lightweights. Who is the best lightweight right now in boxing? Okay.
Oh, God, it's not Tank.
It's
God.
still got to be Loma, though.
Who do you like? It probably.
I do like Loma. Before I give it to him, though, I do want to see him come back. Because I want to see, because again, I don't think he lost against Lopez, but I need to see him come back and see what he bounced back. Because, and Jared, there have been a lot of times where that one fighter thought he won, and it's the tailspin. It's the beginning of the end because they just can't accept it. Will that happen with Loma? I don't think so. But in order for me to know, I'm going to need to see Loma in the ring. I'm going to need to see him to do something. And for me, man, again, like I said, I don't think so. I think he'll be all right. In terms of, because I got the lightweight rankings. Hold on, let me get there because I'm very curious to see who they would have because they have.
No, well they on BoxRec they have Loma and then Kambosos and then Lopez, Diaz, Haney.
Haney.
So Kambosos be Lopez, Diaz is fighting Haney. It is still Lomo. I will give you my honorable mention to your early name off of this list. It's William Zepeda. Guy's a monster. Keep an eye out for this kid.
Say that name one more time.
William Zepeda. 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 That's your way too early next guy in that division. Look out. William Zepeda. Monster.
And watch, and Jace, now that I'm involved with this, watch him all of a sudden become a bust. Watch. The one time I go, okay, yep, I'm going to put all my eggs in this basket is when the guy's going to be like, oh, wait, Pride believes in me. Yeah, I'm retiring. Watch.
And losing 6 straight.
And then, it's going to happen, and Jared's going to look at me like, look here. I am never giving you another name
The
ever.
first time that's ever happened to me.
But yeah, so because you looked at BoxRec, I've been very curious at how ESPN ranked them.
BoxRec actually uses an algorithm called ELO, which is how they rank chess players. So those numbers that's the only place you're going to find numbers that are based on math.
Math and legit. No.
Is the ratings on BoxRec.
People say, because people say on ESPN it's wild sometimes, right? So I'm kind of curious. So they have Kambosos tied for 1 with Lomachenko. They're both at 1. Then you got Tank at 3, Hanley at 4, Lopez at 5, Garcia at 6, Diaz at 7, Jorge Linares at 8, Richard Kami at 9, and then Javier Fortuna at 10. So
William Zepeda will beat most of the guys on that list right now today.
You know what?
Mark my words.
Just the way you're hyping him up right here, right now, he's cleaning out the division. Let's go all the way, Jared. Let's go. Let's go all the way. He's cleaning out the division.
Clean it out.
He's cleaning out the division.
Come up behind Haney and take all those belts.
Yeah.
Watch.
Step
yeah. I'm not shocked at all. Haney takes all the belts and then loses them to Zepeda. I would not be shocked at all.
I will say that this division is very, very weird because there's so much talent and none of them are fighting each other. It's so weird.
I will tell you that it is extremely bizarre.
Like it's frustrating. Like when heavyweight was the big three, and you had Fury, Joshua, Wilder.
They're all fighting. Like they had a fight.
They weren't fighting, and I mean, I guess like you had each one was with a different promotion. These guys are all intertwined somehow, one way or another. They all have connections, but they're just not fighting. So it's weird, and we'll get back.
Oh, some things I hate to say here. Sander, yeah, watch out for Myquan Williams. He's very good. I'm not sure he's the great upper echelon fighter that he's been broadcast as. I think some of that's local stuff. We'll see what happens with the hype. But his competition's been good. That said, he's not one of these guys just fighting nobodies with really, really bad records and no numbers behind him. Myquan Williams, he's worth keeping an eye on. Personal friend of mine, really, really good fighter. One of the best we've got in the state. And yeah, a name worth knowing, but I'm not sure he's going to be able to get over that hump just because of his fighting style. Not a huge puncher, you know. He does a lot of things really good. He's not dazzling. He's the Robert Ory of that division. You know, he's just getting the job done over and over, which I like. I like the kid and have a lot of respect for him. He does a lot in the community. He does like backpack drives for the kids out there that are struggling. Awesome, awesome human being. Myquan Williams.
Jace, I wish someone would call me the Robert Horry of anything. 7 rings? You can call me goddamn Robert Horry. Call me goddamn Robert Horry. He got 7 chips.
I'll do that. The backup's backup.
Yeah, bro. Like, you know what? I'll be Robert with pleasure. With pleasure.
Well, and Myquan's another story. Sanders apparently close with Mikey, but that's another story on where his father was shot when he was a little kid and 6-7 years old. He wanders into a boxing gym, and this is another individual who professes that the sport and the discipline changed his life and brought him to a place he wouldn't be without it. It's yet another example of somebody making a way because of the sport of boxing.
Yes, sir.
Prince Tech, yes, sir.
No, that's why freaking I'm honestly, when my kids grow up, whether they like it or not, they're going to the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I don't care. I'm actually blessed enough to be 5 minutes away from a studio. I actually did the consultation, right? I thought it was gonna be, bro. I felt so great. Jared. All right. See, when I say her name 3 times like that, you know it's gonna be followed by some stupidity I did, right? So I walk in there and I'm seeing them rolling, and I'm just like, oh, this is easy. This is gonna be cake, right? Someone heard me say that. That's why I fucked up. And it was a chick who was shorter than me and like half my weight. No exaggeration. Basically, imagine the most anti-Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu person in the world. Okay? Now cut them in half. Now shrink their weight. Give them long blonde hair and a ponytail. And then make it a female. Put her in there, and that's what I'm looking at, right? So I'm thinking, yeah, it's going to be a breeze. Jared, I never got fucked up so fast in my entire life, Jared. I wasn't even embarrassed either. I wasn't embarrassed. At the end, I'm just laying there, like, just like, you know what? I lost. And she goes, oh, you think it was going to be easy? And I was like, I apologize for disrespecting you. Got up, and I tried to walk out, and they were like, no, you're fine. They were like, at least you didn't call her anything crazy or nothing. I was like, look, man, I'm like, it's all good. I just wanted to be a clown. You know, I wanted to see this. Because, look, I'll be honest. When you watch Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it looks easy. Now, I think where I messed up, I came to find out the people that were rolling were the instructors. And they had some downtime, and they were rolling with each other just to kill time in between classes. So I'm looking at black belts, and turns out that's why they made it look so easy. Meanwhile, I'm out here so beltless. I'm walking in there with sagging pants. I went to somebody, and like, I didn't even know what belt she was. I didn't even ask. I was already embarrassed because I was like, with my luck, she's going to say, oh, yeah, I don't even have a belt. I'm part of the intro class with my luck, right? So I just walked out, But goddamn, I'm telling you, like when it comes to like anything just like, you know, karate, taekwondo, BJJ, boxing, like combat sport, that is something like the reason I think it actually helps people so much is you can actually exert all the negative energy you have in you in a place where it's allowed. Like you're allowed to do it. So it's not like, you know, you kind of, you know, gotta go and punch a wall or something. Because last time I punched the wall, you know, you won. We got a rematch. We'll see what happens. I try to do it with my head one time. I have this scar up here. Oh, you guys can't see it. Thank God. I try to bash my head through a wall. Yeah. Remember, Jerry? Remember early when I said if I fought John Jones, I'm not smart, so I wouldn't lose anything? Yeah. So, boop, I hit my head on the wall, split open, and I was just.
You said my name 3 times right before you did that, huh?
and what does it? If I listen, Jace, you too. If I say your name 3 times, guess what? It's gonna be followed by some stupid stuff I done did. Just keep that.
Can you put that link up, Jace? I got a quick story to tell. I'll send you a link. Now, when I was, I think, 19, I've been boxing 4 or 5 years, on and off, never really taking it seriously, but I'm like, I'm going to go in and take this shit seriously. And I walk into a gym and I'm like, psh, you know, had my share of street fights, learned the basics when I was 14, 15. Now I'm ready, right? So I'm going to get in there. Oh, yeah, you ready to fight? Yeah, I've had a bunch of fights, you know, did some boxing when I was younger. I was literally that guy, yeah. So this is Joey. This is Joey's professional record. So I was about 19 and Joey was about 14. And they say, you want to spar today? I said, yeah, sure. They said, hey, Joey, wrap your wrists up. And little Joey slapped the shit out of me.
Bro.
He couldn't hit me with anything that hurt, but I couldn't hit this kid at all. He fought, go down to the bottom. You look, he started his career with a couple wins against guys who with no good records. Now start looking at those undefeated fighters. Check out their 20-0, 22-0, 9-0, 12-1, 2-0, 4-0, 14-2, 5-0, 6-0, 14-0. He fought like 20, 30 undefeated fighters. Horrible management. Finished 11-37. And when I was 19 years old and he was 14, dusted me off well.
I'm gonna tell you this right now.
This is little Joey.
I would 100%. If I was younger, right, and you came up to me and said little Joey, not only am I gonna go fight him, Jared, I might lose worse than you. I might lose worse than you. I might. Like, I'll be honest with you. Like, just the way you're describing it. You know what? I'm being a pacifist. That's it. We're going all the way. Fuck it. I'm a pacifist. I don't hurt anyone. I'm like one love. I'm gonna go hug a tree or something. Like, hey, no, wait, listen, bro. If I ever I'm telling you this right now. If I ever get beat up that bad, if I ever tell you guys fighting is barbaric, just know I recently got beat up bad.
I'll tell you, that was the last time I ever underestimated anybody. And even so, like, I wanted to fight bigger, stronger, heavyweight Lawrence Claybay because nothing bad could happen. Because it's a 240-pound heavyweight, and people aren't going, damn, that silver medalist kicked your ass. Oh, you got beat up by Chad Dawson. Nobody's ever said that to me. Nobody's ever picked on me for getting my ass kicked by Chad Dawson. But when a girl with Down syndrome walks over and goes, you want to spar a little bit? Don't go. Whoa. Yeah, I'm going to whoop it. Because if by some chance, I get serious, she lands something, you have some serious explaining to do. I turned my
oh gosh.
I turned my whole operation from I never want to underestimate and target somebody weaker. I want to target the bigger, stronger because I want to be the girl with Down syndrome that when I land something, everybody goes, holy shit. You see that body shot? That guy won an Olympic medal. And Jared just put him down. I want to be that one. Yeah, and whenever we pick teams, my little brother tried to take all the best players. And I'd take the smaller, the weaker, whatever it was, because you're supposed to win. You're supposed to strike everybody out. You get no points for that.
Hey,
so,
Jared. Yo, that's the line of the day. I want to be the girl with Down syndrome like that. That's the line of the episode. I get you
Oh, jeez. But I mean, I will say, UFC 1, right? When the Gracies were putting it together, they had this big dude, like 6 foot, 6-pack abs. I can't remember if it was Helson or Heeman Gracie. Undefeated. He's said to have 400. He was like 400-0 in Brazil, but they picked Hoist to be the representative for them because he was smaller and to showcase it. Because I mean that's what BJJ was. It was supposed to
awesome
make
story.
Yeah, because to your point, Jace.
David beat the Goliath.
Yeah, because to your point, Jace, like at the time when people thought of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, they didn't think of like a big strapping young man. Like when you thought Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, did you think of Tank Abbott? Like that's not who you thought about. You didn't think about no Ken Shamrock. You didn't think about Tito Ortiz, Triple Del. You didn't think of any of these guys. You looked at a guy like Hoist Gracie, who literally looks like my uncle, who literally looks like he goes, "Oye, Chico." Like that's what Hoist Gracie looked like. Hoist just looked like, and it's funny because every time he went and fought, he always looked the same way, bored. He was just like, I just want to grapple. That's really it. And like back then, you knew a guy was skilled in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu when he came out fighting like this. Like that weird, that weird style where it's kind of just like, grr, we're men in the 90s, grr. Like that's how really they fought. And you just knew they were just waiting just to grapple you and just to take you to the down and work the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So it was like, whew.
Yeah.
How much do you guys know about Helio?
I think he's one. Is he the youngest?
He's the father.
He's the dad. Yeah.
Oh, he's the pops. He's the old man.
Yeah.
He's the.
Did he have? Now he had something, right, Jace? Is it sickle cell? All right. So listen, this guy's got like 12 brothers. They're all 6'2", 240, and he's 5'8", 155. He's the runt. And he's got sickle cell or something. And he starts trying to find ways when they're fighting to isolate single limbs as opposed to fighting the whole person because it was the only Helio, the godfather of jiu-jitsu, exactly. And that's why he had 11, 12, 13 brothers and was half their size with sickle cell and had to find a way to keep up. So Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was kind of born from that. So when it came time to select one of his 9 sons to go represent it in the UFC, he's like, this works because the smallest guy can beat the biggest guy. And if we send the biggest guy, nobody's going to get the point. So we send the smallest guy, and he beats everybody 11-0 for 4 straight UFCs and is the greatest fighter of all time.
Yeah. But speaking of UFC, let's get back to the fights with a big bantamweight main event in the UFC Fight Night tonight as Rob Font takes on Jose Aldo.
UFC Vegas 44 Font versus Aldo features a bantamweight bout between Rob Font and 2-time UFC featherweight champion Jose Aldo as the main event. Let's break it down. Rob Font is 34 years old. He's 5'8" with his 71.5-inch reach and a record of 19-4 with 8 knockouts and 4 submissions. From Leominster, Massachusetts, Font got a late start in MMA, taking up Muay Thai and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in his late teens before becoming an amateur in 2009. He compiled a record of 3-1 before making his pro debut in 2011, winning by a first-round armbar submission. He lost his second fight by decision, but then won his next 9, 5 by stoppage, before making his UFC debut in 2014, knocking out George Roop with a perfectly timed counter-right cross. After knocking out Joey Gomez, he dropped a unanimous decision to John Lineker, but 7 months later came back at the Ultimate Fighter Season 24 finale, dropping Matt Schnell with a knee to the jaw and finishing him with ground and pound. Next, he submitted Douglas Silva de Andrade via a guillotine choke, but was then submitted himself by guillotine by Pedro Munoz at Fight Night 119. He bounced back quickly, knocking out Thomas Almeida with a head kick, but 6 months later, he was completely outclassed by Rafael Asuncao, losing by a dominant unanimous decision. He came back with solid wins over Sergio Pettis and Ricky Simon, and in December of 2020, scored one of his most significant victories to that point when he dropped Marlon Moraes with an uppercut and finished him with ground and pound. On May 22nd, 2021, he took on former bantamweight champion Cody Garbrandt, putting on an absolute masterclass and utilizing his jab and footwork to win by a wide unanimous decision. One of the most dangerous strikers in the bantamweight division, Font is tied for second for most knockouts in UFC competition in the division behind DJ Dillashaw, and uses exceptionally long reach to keep his opponents at distance while landing 5.58 strikes per minute at a 43% accuracy rate. Jose Aldo's 35 years old. He's 5'7" with a 70-inch reach and a record of 30-7 with 17 knockouts and 1 submission. From Manaus, Brazil, he took up capoeira and Brazilian jiu-jitsu as a means of self-defense, and by 17 had decided to move to Rio to pursue a career in mixed martial arts. On August 10th, 2004, he made his professional debut with a first-round head kick knockout of Mario Viola. Over the next 5 years, he amassed a record of 15-1 with 12 finishes, including a flying knee knockout of Cub Swanson, before taking the WEC featherweight title from Mike Brown by second-round knockout. After successful title defenses against Uriah Faber and Manny Gamburian, the WEC merged with the UFC, with Aldo becoming the promoter's inaugural featherweight champion, making his first defense in April of 2011 with a unanimous decision over Mark Hominick. Over the next 3 years, he made 6 more title defenses, including knockouts of the Korean Zombie and Chad Mendez, and decisions over Frankie Edgar and Ricardo Lamas, before losing his belt on December 12, 2015, when he was knocked out cold by a counter left cross from Conor McGregor. He returned the following July to reclaim the interim title from Frankie Edgar by decision, but then in June of 2017 lost the title by knockout to Max Holloway, and 6 months later was stopped a second time by Holloway in the 3rd round. After bouncing back with knockouts of Renato Moicano and Jeremy Stevens, he went on a 3-fight losing streak, dropping decisions to Alexander Volkanovski and Marlon Moraes, and then in July of 2020 took on Peter Yan for the vacant bantamweight title, putting up a strong performance against his friend and former sparring partner until Yan finished him in the 5th with a prolonged and brutal ground and pound. After getting back in the win column with a victory over Chito Vera, he put on a vintage performance in August of 2021 against Pedro Munoz, using a superior striking to win by a wide unanimous decision. One of the greatest featherweights of all time, Aldo is an explosive Muay Thai-style striker who possesses some of the sharpest boxing skills and most devastating leg kicks in the game. In a showdown between 2 high-level strikers, can Font use his slight size advantage to edge out Aldo and add a living legend to his resume? Or will the King of Rio's vast experience and high work rate prove to be too much, as Aldo continues to cement his legacy as one of the greatest mixed martial artists of all time? Tune in Saturday night to UFC Vegas 44, Font versus Aldo. Let's find out.
Aldo is a legend in this sport, and it's wild seeing kind of like his downfall. It's all due to him just having too much faith in his hands, in my opinion. I mean, no more leg kicks, no more body kicks, not really getting the distance with that like he did in the past. And so my question, like that's what we got to figure out here, because Rob Font, he might be one of the most underrated boxers in the UFC. He's very, very slick. If Jose Aldo comes out and tries to box with Font, it's not going to end well. If Jose Aldo goes back to when he dominated the featherweight division and was at the top of the UFC's pound-for-pound list, using the leg kicks, setting stuff up with his legs, attacking the lead leg, setting up body kicks and that stuff, I think Jose Aldo can win pretty convincingly and pretty easily. But I'm just going to go with the more recent, and I think Font just outclasses him with the hands. And Font just continues to – and he should honestly be next in line probably for a bantamweight title shot. But, Jared, do you see it going similarly?
Yeah, absolutely. To be honest, I'm not super excited about either one of these guys for anything. Font's hands. And I think after what McGregor did to Aldo, it's time. This might be Aldo's last fight. I like Font. Good fight, but I like Font. I don't think Jose's twitch reflexes are what they once were.
Yeah. Even though they are close in age, Jose Aldo has more wins than Rob Font has fights. So we're looking at the tail end of Jose Aldo. I have to go with Font. And the sad part about it, when I first heard this fight, for 3 days, I just thought about it. And I was trying to think of every single legitimate way I could see this fight panning out. There's only one I could see. Jose Aldo's going to sleep. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to look ugly. It's going to be bad to the point where people are going to question, why is Aldo still in the division? Why is he still? Kind of the same way how we look at Cowboy. Like, bro,
It's time.
Yes, it's time. Go home. Be with your family. You had a great career. It is what it is. Just ride off into the sunset. That's how I literally see it with Jose Aldo.
Unless you also want to be the girl with Down syndrome, it's time.
If we're gonna be honest, look, and everyone says this, and this isn't even conjecture. This isn't even just maybe or anything. What really ruined his career was that loss to Conor McGregor. And it is the first time, again, Jared, Jason, if I'm wrong, please correct me, but it is the first time that Jose Aldo didn't fight smart. He fought with emotion. When he charged Conor and he wanted to put Conor down because of all the trash talking Conor had did. That was the beginning of the end, because in his mind, he was like, you know what? Even though he didn't really do much, he felt like he could strike. Okay, the fight lasted 13 seconds. Aldo, what could you have possibly learned from that, bro? Okay, like, you know what I mean? And it's like, bro, I last longer in bed with my fiance than you did in that fight. Like,
but those 5. To be fair, the 5 losses since then: Max Holloway twice, Volkanovski who went up, Peter Yan who's the champ, and Marlon Moraes by split decision. It's not like somebody mediocre beat Jose Aldo.
Don't get it twisted. I get your point, but I say this. He should have won against Marlon. Why didn't he? Because he went away from what made him great in the division. Like Jay said, he's just all of a sudden he wants to go and run through and knock everybody out in the division. Like every fight now he wants a knockout because he wants to prove he can do that. And it's like, Aldo, you can have 0 knockouts on your resume. It won't matter because you're still getting the wins, brother. You're getting the wins.
You need the W.
No.
Exactly. So it's the way I look at it, it's ridiculous. The Max Holloway thing, he got knocked out both times. It was a TKO. And it was just, he kept lunging. Almost the same thing that he did with Conor. He kept lunging.
Looked like the same fight.
Exactly. And I say the second time, when he did it the second time, because he lost to him back-to-back, when he lost to him the second time, I said, that's a problem because he's not, for a guy as smart as Aldo is, he's not making the adjustments. This is a veteran who understands the game. This isn't an idiot. This isn't me. This isn't a dumb fuck. This isn't John Jones who can't make good decisions. Jose Aldo can make good decisions. He knows what he's doing, but he didn't want to make the adjustments. The only loss I don't hold against him, the only one, was Alexander Volkanovski. Because I've been screaming, excuse my French, Alexander Volkanovski is a fucking savage. I've been screaming that for a while now, so that's the only fight I won't hold against him. Piotr Yan?
You're wrong, no.
He had the opportunity. That's just me. He just of those 5 after Conor from those 5 losses, I blame 4 of them on him, and it's just the adjustments he had to make. He just wasn't making them, and it's unfortunate. And I think he's coming off a 2-fight win streak, and everyone's saying, "Oh my God, it's the return." If he wins, I'll be honest. If Jose Aldo wins, we should give him a title shot just to say thank you. Just give him a title shot. He's gonna get destroyed, unfortunately, but let's just give him a thank you. Say whoop-de-doo, thank you for everything you've done. You're a legend of the division. 100% he's going to make the Hall of Fame. No debate. There's just no debate with that. He's going to make the Hall of Fame. And, hats off to him. But again, Rob Font's going to knock him. He's going to knock him out. And it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty at all. And I'm going to feel bad. I really am. But again, Jared, I kind of agree with you. Even though I don't think either one of these guys can hang with the top guys in the division.
Yeah,
Right now, I don't think they can hang with Piotr Jan, TJ Dillashaw, or Corey Sandhagen. Both of them will beat the dog shit out of Aljamain Sterling. That one I'm not even concerned with. Like, they'll destroy Aljamain Sterling. But Piotr Jan, TJ Dillashaw, and Corey Sandhagen, do they really have a legit chance against them? I mean, maybe Corey Sandhagen, because of those three guys, he's the weakest. But that's kind of like of the big three in the featherweight division: Volkanovski, Max Holloway, and Brian Ortega. Brian Ortega's the weakest. He ain't dog shit. Like, he's not horrible. So that's kind of how I look at it. And I'll be honest, fine. Although now Prime Aldo runs through this division. But we're talking about Prime Aldo. So
I will say, I mentioned like the kicks and that stuff. I will say if Aldo can go on a run here, but what he needs to do is he needs to take a little bit of a page out of Glover Teixeira's book. He needs to utilize his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I mean, he is a stud there on the ground too. And I mean, you saw it in the Vera fight. He was able to get the back. If he can realize when he's in danger, when the striking's not working, get it to the ground. I think Aldo can go on a little bit of a run here, but I mean, that's changing up your whole game plan. But I mean, he did change up his whole game plan since that Conor fight. So I don't know, maybe. But, I just think the writing's on the wall for him. He's on the way out, and Font might not be the brightest of futures, but he is a future of this division.
He has a future, at least. Yeah, Aldo is 1 or 2 fights away.
Yeah. Honestly, Jared, his last 2 fights shouldn't have happened. And granted, people are going to say, oh, yeah, because he won, because he won, people are going to say, oh, yeah, he's back. Look, after that Piotr Jan loss, again, obviously it was a knockout. If you saw him after that fight, he looked, and I'm not talking about afterwards, I'm talking about like weeks after, he looked so lost, and he looked mentally checked out. And there was one interview that I saw right after that fight that he actually contemplated retirement.
Well, this is a horrible matchup for him. You can't. This guy's too long for you to hold down, and his striking is too good for you to get inside on. You're going to do that lunging, and you're going to get knocked out. I totally agree with you. The over/under is set at 4.5, and the under is the plus money. I'm taking the under all day. Even if Aldo gets it done, it's not going to be by decision. No, I don't see this going 5 rounds. Those guys are going to spend a half hour fighting each other? No way.
No way.
I don't like it.
Especially Rob Font, because Rob Font understands, bro. Look, people don't think I'm legit in this division, and he's gonna, if he can go and look. A lot of people say all Rob Font needs is that signature win. Maybe if Jose Aldo wins, maybe it's a signature win that he needs to make people take him serious. We're gonna know the fact that it's a Jose Aldo who's walks to the ring with a crutch. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about any of that. But I'm going to tell you, when it comes to Rob Font, I like him and all. But in terms of the division, this fight to me, I wouldn't have had as the main event. That's just me.
Take New Times Roman by knockout. New Times Roman by knockout.
Look, again, I like Rob Font, but if you watch, he just does not match up with the 3 guys in the top of the division. And obviously, Aljamain Sterling is not a top 3 guy. He's not even a top 15.
I'm a little disappointed. This is a UFC main event. The main event on a UFC card is Aldo versus Font. I'm a little bit disappointed by that.
And the thing is, Jared, casual people who don't really watch fighting hear Jose Aldo and think, oh, it's going to be a great fight.
Yep.
And I guarantee that's why they did it.
The name, yeah.
Because
it's the biggest name on the card.
Exactly. Jose Aldo, people don't really watch at MMA like that. They just pretend. Then you know what I mean? They do stuff like that. Rob Font is a name that's starting to grow. So they're just trying to get the last little bit of shine Jose Aldo has. They're trying to put it on Rob Font. That's all they're really trying to do.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, Aldo, he's gonna get knocked out. And it's gonna be ugly. And next week, I guarantee you, somebody's gonna ask, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's a joke. Why did that fight happen? There's gonna be why did that fight happen? There was
See it?
everyone lost. That's really it. Because this is an all-lose situation. Rob Font knocked out. Congratulations, you knocked out my grandfather.
Yeah, nobody's gonna exactly. You don't get any points for that.
You don't. You really don't.
When I get the fight, you get points for. Yeah,
exactly. You're fighting a guy on the tail end of his career. You knocked him out. Again, name value, sure, but then when you put context, like this is a Jose Aldo who was out of the division. You know what I mean? I'm talking about he's on his way out of the division. Who's really gonna care? Let's be honest. And then on top of that, they're gonna say, "All right, Rob Font, what'd you do ever since?" Nothing, because like I said, I don't think Rob Font can hang with the top of that division because it's tough up there. It's tough. It's like the featherweight division. It's those three guys, and then everyone else can go pound sand. And that's the exact same way. I'm telling you, it's the exact same way with the bantamweight division. It's Piotr Jan, T. Dillashaw, Corey Sandhagen, everyone else go play with yourselves. Like that's it's tough. I feel bad for Font. Lose weight, go to flyweight. Go to flyweight, Font. If he can handle that weight cut, if I'm him, if he can handle it. I don't know if he can. If you can handle that weight cut, go to flyweight. Because flyweight is good. It's open.
Yeah.
It's only a 2-man race. So if he can handle it, I would tell him to cut some weight.
Arguably the best flyweight in the world is in Bellator right now. You can make that argument. He beat the champ. He beat the champ. He beat UFC's champ. He beat Moreno.
Look, again, when it comes to that, if you want to say that, you know, my thing, by the way, the Grand Prix, they announced that that had me absolutely hilarious. I was ecstatic. But yeah, so the excuse me, so their flyweight is technically considered their featherweight, if I'm understanding this correctly.
Oh no, they're Pettis is the bantamweight champ, right?
That's the thing. I don't because I'm not. So bantamweight is their flyweight, right?
Whatever it is, Pettis beat Moreno, so you can argue that. Yeah, that's all I'm trying to say. I don't know,
but at the same time, I mean, Sergio Pettis. Look, I like Pettis. I mean, look, I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm not. But he was getting destroyed. Duke Rufus told him in the corner, bro, you're getting fucked up. Get it together. And even Sergio Pettis admitted it afterwards when they did the whole media availability thing. He admitted, bro, not only did I know I was down, Duke Rufus was telling me, bro, we're down. You know? Now, he pulled that spinning back fist. A lot of people say out of nowhere. And if you say it's out of nowhere, you weren't watching the fight because he was throwing it every single round. He was throwing that back. He was throwing these wild kicks. Well, they looked wild. He threw a few spinning back fists, and he tried to get him with some elbows too, spinning back elbows. Yep. And the whole time I'm like, he's this close. He's this close. But I ain't even gonna lie to you. If we're blessed enough, if we're blessed enough to have Bellator and the UFC do an interpromotional thing, I want to see Sergio. I want to see this Sergio Pettis, this one, against this Brandon Moreno. And I want to see how they would match up. Because I'll be honest with you, again, Jace, maybe I'm bugging. And Jared, I'm glad you're here. Because I'm about to say something, and I want to see if I'm bugging, if I'm stupid, if I'm out of my mind. The second-ranked guy in the bantamweight division, Rafael Stotts, I think he easily cleans out the featherweight division. I don't even think it's close. I don't think it's close.
Yeah.
That's just me. I don't even think it's close. I love Davidson Figueiredo. I love him. But Rafael Stotts, by the way, just throwing it out there, when it comes to the Grand Prix, there's 8-man in it. My guy, Rafael Stotts, he going to handle it. I'm just throwing that out there. Do with that information as y'all will. Okay. But goddamn, Rafael
like
Stotts.
Fig. You're not bugging out, but I still like Fig.
You like Fig? Okay. Yeah. I mean, as long as I'm not bugging out. Because, you know, and maybe it's just me. I like Stotts a lot. That's my guy right there. And they just announced that the Grand Prix. And that's going to be interesting. It's going to be 8 fighters. It's going to be hilarious. Let me tell you, it's going to be hilarious. Because if Sergio Pettis somehow wins, it's going to be a whole shit show. And even worse, let's say Sergio Pettis loses to someone, and then the person who beat Pettis loses in the next round. Oh, it's going to be chaos, and I love it. Scott Coker does coke. That's where he got his name from. Pretty sure. And I'm pretty sure him. You know what? I'm going to end it with this, and I'm going to let you go, Jace. Scott Coker hangs out with John Jones. End of story. Go ahead, Jace.
All right. Okay. Let's get back on track. Let's get back into the realm of boxing. Tank Davis going up against Isaac Cruz. I expect Tank to win this. I mean, not look great, land something wild that puts Isaac Cruz to sleep, and then continue to trash talk everyone else in the lightweight division and never fight them.
He's going to trash talk everyone just to not fight them.
Yeah. I mean, I picked against Davis last time. Didn't work out against Santa Cruz. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to keep going with Davis. I don't know, man. I mean, it's not great. He isn't going to look the prettiest. He'll land a knockout blow maybe. But, yeah. Jared, how do you see this playing out?
I hear him.
Did we lose Jared?
Yeah, I hear him loud and clear. He's speaking facts. I got you, Jared. Yeah, I think we lost him again.
All right. How you see this going down, Pride?
I got Tank. Look, I think Cruz has a chance. I give him a chance, right? Now, people, Tank is older. He is a few years older because Cruz is only 23. And people are saying, Tank is older, so he has the experience. But Davis, Tank, he's 25-0. He got 25 fights. Isaac Cruz is 22-1-1. Add that together, 24 fights. So Tank only has one more fight under his belt. So the whole experience thing, I think to me, it's just a little bit blown out of proportion. In terms of power, I give it to Tank. Movement, I will give it to Cruz. I do like the way Cruz moves around, so I will give him that. He's very good because he's got this weird style where, like, you know how you see boxers kind of crouch a little bit and kind of do the little weird. He kind of does that from time to time, and he likes getting you from different angles. He's good with angles, so. But I will say at the end of the day, I just think I got Davis. I think Cruz will make it a good fight. I got Tank knocking him out. I'll say the 7th. I think there'll be some back and forth. Don't be surprised because of the angles Cruz can get. Don't be surprised if Tank gets rocked. Because not to say that this dude Cruz can hit a punch, but there's a few hits he'll get you that you don't see coming. And it's those shots that rock you. So don't be surprised if Tank gets rocked and he kind of just, for a minute, looks like he's on Elm Street and he's in a nightmare chilling out with Freddy Krueger. Don't be surprised. But I think at the end of the day, 7th round knockout for Tank. And then obviously right after that, he's going to call someone, I don't know, probably. So we're going to go back to disrespecting Ryan Garcia and say, oh my God, he a little bleep, he a little bleep, he a little bleep. And then they're gonna be like, oh, fight him. I'm injured. It's gonna be wild like that. So but yeah, I expect a win. And then I expect Davis to literally call out the entire division and then literally fight none of them.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, before he fights anyone in the division, I expect him to move. That's just me. Like I would expect him. I would not be surprised if, to avoid them, he moves up to junior welterweight. I would not be surprised whatsoever if they go up to him and say, "Oh, your next fight has to be, let's say Ryan Garcia." Matter of fact, because that Ryan Garcia's fight was supposed to happen multiple times. Let's say it's that. I would not be surprised if he says, "Oh, to continue my legacy, I'm moving up and I want to capture more belts." Watch, I'm telling you. And I don't know what it is, because I really don't think Davis is scared. I don't think so. I think somebody in his camp is telling him, why waste your time? I'm almost convinced someone's saying that. Go ahead, Jason.
No, I'll tell you the reason he is. I mean, There's so many good lightweights, but he's stuck with Showtime. Showtime is out of everyone, Showtime is the promotion that doesn't like to play well with others. They like to keep their guys there. I mean, that's why Bud Crawford jumped over to Showtime because he couldn't get that fight with Spence without doing that.
But let me ask you something. Don't you think a guy like Davis, like Tank, don't you think a guy like him can kind of be like, look, at the end of the day, this is what I'm doing? Like, don't you think he's on that level now that he can kind of be like, hey, yo, just give me this one fight? Not to say that he could, run the entire thing, but don't you think he'll be able to be like, listen, I barely ask out for anything. Give me this one fight. Don't you think he's got at least enough star power to, at the bare minimum, do that and have them at least listen?
Yeah, maybe, but I mean, no one else has ever done that. No, I mean, they're always getting in their way, and they always just want to continue making money, plain and simple. But Jared, now that you're back with us, how you see this fight playing out? I know you don't like Tank at all.
I don't like Tank at all, but again, these guys are really creative about picking opponents for their young guys, and Isaac Cruz, tough as nails. Be careful with this fight, but yeah, it's probably Tank Davis, and again, it's creative. I'm not good. What more do we learn about Tank Davis if he beats him that we didn't already?
That's a beautiful point, Jared. You learn, honestly, you learn, and dare I say, even if Davis loses, I don't think we learn anything either. I'll be honest, I don't think you learn anything from Davis. I don't think you learn anything, no matter win, lose, draw. Davis can just show up there and literally just rip his arm off. He could literally go and say the words, "I quit," and I don't think we'll learn anything. We won't learn a single thing from Tank Davis in this fight. I don't think so.
He's been outboxed. He loses rounds on a regular basis. And if that happens here, Cruz is a hard puncher.
Let me ask you a question. How crazy is this comparison? Tank Davis is a Deontay Wilder who lost weight. I saw that comparison. I don't think it's spot on, but I do think it's in the realm. I do think it's in the vicinity because Tank kind of does like his power a lot.
Always for that punch, and there's no plan B.
Yeah, so that alone kind of makes me go, look, I don't think that's an exact, I don't think it's a perfect comparison, but I do think it's in the ballpark. 100%. I think it's in the ballpark. I don't know how you feel about it, Jace, but I believe it's in the ballpark.
Yeah. I will say that. Oh, yeah. Jared, you got to fix your mic, brother. I don't know why it's echoing. But something's echoing. We good now?
Yeah, I'm good. I had to take a little break for some mental health stuff.
I'm glad you got it together, Ryan Garcia. I'm glad you got it together.
Now that Tank's fighting Isaac, I feel better.
I'm telling you, Jace, this episode, Jared is dropping some beautiful diamonds. And oh my goodness, I need to gather them because this has been hilarious.
All right, and I mean, let's continue on dropping the dimes and actually picking them back up and making us some money. This is your parlay, Jared?
Yeah, absolutely. I like George Fox. He's fighting his toughest opponent to date, but he's a capable fighter, and it's just the next step for him. I think Fox has some potential, not great. Devin Haney, like I said, he beats Diaz. Real clever with the weights there, getting him in there with a guy he can handle. And then lastly, you have Arthur Yarde versus, Lyndon Arthur versus Anthony Yarde. These guys fought. Arthur won the first time. I don't know why he's got plus money. These are two big, strong guys at light heavyweight, both with defensive flaws. Going to be a great fight. And I like Arthur to get it done again. If you're an MMA fan, think Curtis Blades, Derek Lewis, big, strong, but with defensive flaws. So Lyndon Arthur and Anthony Yarde, it's going to be a good fight. And I take Arthur.
Thank you for breaking it down for a nincompoop like myself. I appreciate it. Because once you said Curtis Blades and that guy who, by the way, best goes down and then licks you, the best post-fight celebration I've ever seen in my life. Derek Lewis, I don't know what's better, him doing that, or when he took off his shorts and Joe Rogan was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And he was like,
My balls was hot.
And Joe Rogan was like, "Yo," he didn't know what to say, so he was like, "I understand." And it's like, bro, you made Joe Rogan like almost stutter, like, "Yo, bro." But yeah, so let me ask you a question on that parlay thing. So, because obviously you have a plus. Lyndon Arthur was the plus. Why? Why would you bet on him if he's a plus? Can you break that down for a simpleton like me?
I don't bet anything by itself. Almost never. ESPN had Delaware versus Delaware State as a basic coin toss, 51% to 49%. Delaware State got 17.5 points. So I didn't want to take them on the money line, but I took the 17.5 points. They lost by 8 or 9 or something and hit it. But unless it's something like that, I will almost never take a spread. So if you pay 10, 15, 20% to get your money in there and 10, 15, 20% to get your money out, and then they're taking 10 or 15% on coin tosses when you are betting the spread, then you lost 15% 3 times and you're at about a 50-50 split. You've got to be right 8 or 9 out of 10 times to win at that rate. How many of us can do that on coin tosses? Be right 8 out of 10 times. No, you don't have to. What you do is I usually don't make parlays with pluses. I'll make parlays with favorites and then round robins with pluses. So I have well, I'm going to bring this up and answer your question real quick, just because this is one I'm pretty excited about. I have a round robin in today, so $16. If you pick 5 underdogs and you round robin them, every combination from 3 to 5, there's 16 of them. So I have 16 bets, including Lyndon Arthur. I put Brad Riddell at plus 100. I've got the under 4.5 for Rob Font at plus 110. IPFW college basketball at plus 113. And then San Diego State at minus 220. So I'm confident about the football game. And then I took 4 other plus monies where if I go 2 for 4, I'm turning a win. So I got to go 2 for 4 on coin tosses, and you got to go 8 for 10.
So you're basically okay. I see. Okay, so instead of just doing one bet, you're kind of doing like, one that's like a virtual sure thing that you're 100% confident in, and then you have others sprinkled in there to just in case help you offset. So let's say you end up losing, at worst you're kind of just zeroing out.
Oh yeah, if I'm betting something that's 10 to 1 odds, and I'm betting $100, I'm going to make $10. If I find 5 fights that I like at 10 to 1 odds and bet $20 instead of $100, I win that same $10. So you stack them on top of each other, right? 10 to 1 times 5 is 20 wins 10.
Yep.
And what are the odds if you've got 10 to 1 odds on 5 fights that you win all 5 of them? If you pick 10 of those and you're a simpleton, you're going to lose 1 out of 10. They're 10 to 1 odds. Right? So you're going to be able to pick 9 of those. So take the 5 of them that you like, bet the 20 instead of the 100. That's how you do favorites. And underdogs, you round robin so that if you hit any of them, you end up breaking even. And should I hit all 5 of those, it's like an $800 ticket for $16.
I'm so glad I was able to be here, because just asking you this stuff, it makes me feel just a little bit smarter. Just a little bit. I'm able. You are cracking my mind and fertilizing my brain with this knowledge. Oh, wise one, you are my master Yoda. Thank you.
You got it. Hey, yeah, no straight up bets and no spreads. I hate spreads. You're down 5 and you're getting 5.5 points and you're fouling.
I love it.
It doesn't benefit me. That might benefit the team to try to get back in the game, but you're doing the opposite of what I would want you to do. I never play spreads. But there are computers smarter than you that are behind putting those spreads together.
That's true.
I don't usually touch them.
That's great to know.
All right.
They got 100 of me building that thing.
All right. Let's get back to the fights. Fight of the night. Jared, what you got?
Oh, before we get past I got to take the shot out here before we get past the puncher's chance. My man, tickets with your boy. Fight of the night is that boxing match. Lyndon Arthur, that plus 140 against Anthony Yard. That is your fight of the night. One of them's a little bit more disciplined, a little bit better defensively. He beat him last time. He's going to do it again. Lyndon Arthur, and that's your fight of the night because they're big guys who lack defensively. Curtis Blades and Derek Lewis. If you're not a boxing guy, that's the type of fight you're getting here.
All right. Pride. What you got?
I'm kind of torn between two. I'm torn between a fight I already saw and a fight that I have some decent expectations for.
Just give us both.
All right. So in terms of the boxing one, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Hanley. Hanley and Cruz.
Haney.
Or Haney, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yeah.
Obviously your boy's stupid as shit, so words are hard.
That's a good fight though.
I like I said, I genuinely 110% believe that this fight is closer than people say. By the way, I think I said Cruz. I meant Diaz.
Diaz, yeah. Haney and Diaz.
I genuinely believe this fight is closer than a lot of people are making it out to be. I have Hanley by decision, but I'm telling you, there's going to be a few. I'm going to put it to you this way. I think I said unanimous decision. I think there's a legit chance it's split because I believe there's going to be a few rounds, more specifically between round 4 through 6, where it's going to be so close that you're going to be like, God damn, give me a quarter. I'm flipping a coin, and that's how we decide who wins. There's going to be some of those.
If I'm round by round, I'm with you. 3 or 4 rounds, Haney wins decisively outboxing this guy. Then Diaz realizes he can't box with him and starts trying to beat him by volume, starts making the fight interesting in 4, 5, 6. And then we end up with some coin toss rounds. And yeah, I could absolutely see that. But I think there will be dangerous moments for both fighters in that fight. That's a great fight of the night.
Yeah, 110%. I think there's going to be and we're going to learn something about Haney here. Because I believe there's going to be a couple times he's going to be in trouble. And when he's in trouble, do I think he's going to be rocked? No, but I think the potential will be there where he's going to have to understand, okay, I'm low-key in trouble. Let me try to get out of this. And then, again, me personally, I think this fight is way closer than people are saying. So I got Hanley versus Diaz. I think that is going to be the fight of the night. I'm going to be a little biased. I have Pettis versus Hiraguchi. They fought last night. Hiraguchi was dominating Pettis. Wasn't even close. 4th round, Pettis did this weird little, let me give you a half kick. I missed step over. By the way, I have a delivery. Amazon Prime, fuckboy. That spinning back face. It was wild, bro. And it's crazy because the whole fight I'm seeing it. And I'm like, he's throwing it. He's throwing that spinning back fist. He's throwing the elbow. And I'm like, he's this close. He's only a fraction of a second off. And he hits him with one of those. Hiraguchi's going night-night.
Wow.
He's going night-night. And he hit him so hard that Pettis had an opportunity to hit him. And he even said afterwards, he was like, I was going to hit him, but I saw him, and he was really out. He was out. Like, he wasn't.
He like walked over and just touched him like, I'm not going to. On his way over there, he decided, like out of the movies when you realize the guy's out of it.
Yo, Jace, literally halfway through, he was like, "Oh, he's dead. Oh no, he's dead."
Oh shit!
Yeah, he's like, and you can tell
if he had glasses, maybe, but I'm not gonna punch a dead guy.
No, 100%. Straight up, like I'm pretty sure Pettis was like, "Hey, yo, someone give me a stick. You want to go?"
I don't get points for that.
Like, and it's funny because at the end of the fight, he went up on the cage and he had this look. He was like looking, and right before the camera looked, he saw his family. He was like, "Hi," and I was like, "Wait a minute, time out. You can't be a killer and smile. Like, no, we need to pick one. Like, you just virtually killed a man on pay-per-view. Do not tell me." Oh yeah, I want to see my family. Like, no, bro. Right now, you just killed the dude.
Oh God, you're gonna love this story. I got another great story. Now, and I've always said that I'd rather be fighting the big guy than the small guy. I want something I get points for. I'll pick all the people on my team that So I was usually one of the captains for volleyball in prison. I was in Osborne. So this is a level 4 or 5, caught a couple tickets at lesser prisons, went to the big boy prison. We're playing volleyball in the rec yard. And there's a homosexual named Mitchell. He's maybe 6'1", 190. So nice sized guy Mitchell was. And there was a killer out there, like an actual killer who was about 6'4", 260, And whenever I was a captain and we had all of these guys, in prison playing volleyball, I'd pick Mitchell first. And I usually got some flack for that, might not have been a good volleyball player, might not have been the best on the, but see, what happened one of these days is this killer, Peck, was a big dude. And he went up and he met Mitchell at the net on the ball, one of those volleyball full contact spikes. And Peck went down, boom, flat on his back, sand all over him. We got the point. And Mitchell went like this. Best game.
No.
And pranced off into the, oh my God, you've never seen anything like the look on this guy's face. Watching Mitchell kind of prance away and, good game, guys. It was the most amazing moment. But take Mitchell first. Pick. It's okay to pick Mitchell first is the point, because you don't want to be the guy laying on the ground that just got spiked on while he prances away.
Jace, question. Let me ask you a question, Jace. Down syndrome or Mitch? Which is the funnier story? We need to figure out before we continue which was funnier, because right now I am perplexed.
I don't know. This whole show's got off the rails like 7 times.
Oh my God. But it's fun. You'll love it.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Your fight of the night. What you got?
All right. I got 2 as well. On the UFC card, Alex Moreno versus Mickey Gall. Mickey Gall, infamous for choking out CM Punk. He's still solid. Had a couple bumps along the way. I think he can get back into something. And Alex Moreno, another young up-and-comer. I think he beat, if I'm not mistaken, he beat Cowboy. So, yeah, both these guys got a big I don't want to say big name, but a name under their belt. Squaring off welterweight division should be interesting. And then in boxing, the co-main event for Haney and Diaz, Jessica McCaskill versus Victoria Busos. Both lost to Katie Taylor. McCaskill, since that Katie Taylor loss, been on a tear. Undisputed women's welterweight champion. And Busos lost to Katie Taylor, then lost to Brackus, who McCaskill beat in her last fight. So, I got the.
He's kind of percolating in Jared's head real quick. I'm gonna real quick. I want to also throw out a quick honorable mention: Jimmy Crute versus Jamal Hill.
She got replaced, dude. Candy Wyatt. Yeah, McCaskill's not fighting Bosis. Damn.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you can replace that one. The girl's name is Candy Wyatt. She's 10-3. She got stopped by Laredo, lost her last 2 fights. Oh, and is coming up 10 pounds.
With a name like Candy, you winning.
McCaskill's gonna kill that girl.
Probably. It's probably gonna be a murder.
2-day replacement. 2 days notice.
Bless her heart, though. Candy took 2-day replacement. Bless her heart.
Good for you, Candy.
Not a lot of fighters, regardless of gender, don't have the balls to do that. So shout out to Candy, but that's a real one right there.
Come up 2 weight classes in 3 days, to fight a top 10. Yeah, bravo.
Imagine if Candy
Props.
wins. But real quick, Jace, before I let you go, Jimmy Crute, Jamal Hill. I have a lot of expectations for Jimmy Crute. He did lose to Anthony Smith because he got kicked and his leg decided to fake break an ankle. Like it looked brutes magoots, as the children say in the streets. But I think he gets the bounce back. Right now, the light heavyweight division, Glover Teixeira, old. Jan Blachowicz, old. Anthony Smith, he's starting to get old. Thiago Santos starting to get old. So at least 4 of the top 6 guys, they're on their way out. Enter Jimmy Crute, who I will tell you, not only will be the champion, but he will have a decent reign with at least 3 title defenses. Mark my words, I have high expectations of this Australian guy. He makes me want to be Australian.
Wow.
He wants me to go, oi, mate. Like that's how much in love I am with Jimmy Crute. This is my dude, and I'm saying it. In a couple years, when he's the champion, he's gonna have at least 3 title defenses. I'm gonna be sitting pretty. I'm gonna be like, the next time, if that happens, when that happens, I come up here, I'm gonna talk like this, Mike. Straight up the hell episode. What you doing, Mike? I swear to God, I'm talking like that. I'm not kidding. Like, I have high expectations of Jimmy Crute, so that's gonna be an honorable mention. Jimmy Crute, Jamal Hill. That was going to be on the undercard of Font and Aldo. So
his nickname is Sour.
Yes,
Sour Crute.
Yep.
And I like that. I really like Crute too. I'm not to 3 defenses as a champion. That's what I said about Cyril Gahn when we started. But hey, he's one of the guys that can. Let's just say that. I need to see more. Let's win tonight first.
And when me and my guy win, when me and Jimmy Crute win, we're going scissor. You know who we want next? You know who we want next? You know what? Nah. We want John Jones. We're going to make a statement. We're going to beat the bejesus out of him. After, John, come back. Come back to your division. Come back to your division and pass the torch. My guy, Jimmy Sour Crute. Let's get it. Let's get it.
But before we stop with the fight talk for a sec, I got to call out ESPN. First off, making me look like an idiot for not mentioning that Bustos was injured. And I'm sitting here scrolling through their whole boxing front page. They got stuff still talking about Crawford and Porter from 2 weeks ago. You can't bring that up?
I'm going to tell you this right now.
Disrespected
Jace, I'm going to tell you this right now.
That's why I missed it too. Yeah.
When it comes to boxing, the only thing I look for ESPN is the rankings. And I just want to see whether or not they're smoking or not. Do not go for any news for ESPN because when it comes to boxing, because they are literally one of the last ones to know, the last ones to care, and the last ones to publish it. Unless it's a big name like Canelo, they don't care, and it's absurd. When it comes to any combat sport, do not do. Even though UFC partner with them, do not trust ESPN because they fumble their bag worse than Dennis Schroeder did.
Yeah, and they're worse when it they're worse when it comes to the female fighters. Like Jay said, Boses, this girl can punch and was like a +4 or 500. I liked the upset. She can hit harder than McCaskill's ever been hit, and Candy can't. She came up 10 pounds and found out she was fighting 2-3 days ago. This is a tough position.
What's Candy's last name again?
Wyatt.
Candy Can Wyatt. I'm calling her Can because Candy, but Candy Can Wyatt. She getting the win. I'm going with her. Just because of her name. Candy Can Wyatt.
All right. Well, that's gonna do it for the fights this week. Big lightweight fight last week. More big lightweight fights this week in boxing. Got a interesting UFC fight. Great stuff. And we got the UFC pay-per-view coming up. So big stuff going on in the world of combat sports. And to tune in every Saturday at 10 to check it out. And make sure, and big shout out to Clovercrest Media. Make sure you go to www.clovercrestmedia.com. Check out not just more information on this podcast, but a bunch of other podcasts, a bunch of sports shows, football, baseball, basketball, everything there. And I mean, if you're not just a sports fan, got true crime, we got political stuff there too. Big shout out to you, Pride, for filling in for Jill today. Make sure you check out Prideful Takes podcast. I mean, you do that. Like, I feel like you're live every day with something new on that.
Yeah. Look, man, every day I'm not allowed to get a break. I literally every day, Jared, help. Like, if I need help, I'll blink if I need help. Like, I promise I'm fine. Now, literally every day I'm on something. Literally. And
not like John Jones, but you mean
right? Yeah. When I say on something, 100%, I am not John Jones. Matter of fact, I'm not even gonna stitch myself out. Maybe John Jones swung by and we chopped it. Maybe, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah. Look, I'm always on something. You know what I mean? Honestly, this is something I love to do. You know what I mean? Apparently, I must be doing something right. Because if people are reaching out to me, I gotta be doing something right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so 100%, yeah. But honestly, like I said, you guys, if you guys ever need me on, just reach out and I will come. And because it's fun, it's fun, 100%. It's always fun.
Ditto, my friend.
Definitely.
So yeah, 100%. If you guys ever need me again, let me know. Joe, feel better. I hope I done did you proud, sir.
Yeah.
I hope I done did you proud.
Yeah. But for myself, Big Jace, Jared Jones, and Pride, this has been Throwing Jabs, and we're going to end the show like we always do. Jared, hit us with that flurry.
A lot of you guys have noticed probably we're doing big things over at Scrub Scraps. Got a little fundraiser going now. And I've been asked a lot when I'm going to start celebrating. We got the 501c3. You know, and it was more of like a somber moment, humbling moment for me. And we got the exemption from USA Boxing. And then we got the gym. And I feel like people are waiting for this big, yeah, we did it. But all of those successes are on paper. And I celebrate wins with people. Scrub Scraps had some serious wins with people, and we had to shut it down 4 years ago. And since then, we've had some major wins on paper. And we're getting ready to get back to the people. So thank you to everybody who helped out. And I have something huge coming in about an hour or two. I'm going to come back on here, and this is a teaser. So I'll be live shortly with big news coming from Scrub Scraps. Check us out, scrubscraps.org. Life-saving material. Thank you, guys.
Throwing jabs, always full send. Here we go again. Jared, Joe, and Jay's Clovercrest, top three corner man. Punching in with a puncher's chance, we find a way to win. The main event, locked it in every Saturday at 10. The overhand is out of hand when it comes to fisticuffs. Slide a hand on the undercard, you'll never see the punch. Uppercut, got you missing weight, feet are stepping late. Keep your guard up, feeling faint from a feint. Take a stand and eight, then retaliate. Put up your duke, stick and move, bob and weave. Don't lose hope against the ropes, there's always an escape. Never stay down. One more round, bells ringing, counter punch with your chin tucked and go down swinging. We bring in crosses with no worship, hooks with no verses, combinations with no locks. When you feel the flurry, it's curtains. From scrub scraps to fight stats, relax if you want the facts, cause the best combat podcast is Throwing Jabs.
Hello, my name is Joe Aguirre. I'm the president of Clovercrest Media Group. And here at CMG, we have a wide variety of podcasts, including sports shows like Keys to the City, The Roll Call, Throwing Jabs, All Four Downs, and Jawing About the G-Men. And great true crime shows like Sticky Week, Crimes and Consequences, Ivy League Murders, and Bird, the unsolved murder of David Eichmann. You can find all these podcasts and so much more by visiting clovercrestmedia.com.